Sadistic Penguin Studios presents the At the Show podcast with Tom Yumper Garcia.
Okay, you people sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning. And if we're not back by dawn, call the president.
And Tony Chalsa Burt.
I don't know this industry jargon, YP, MP, whatever, okay? All I know is that I cannot get a record contract. We cannot get a record contract unless I take these tapes.
It's almost time, so grab a drink, get your popcorn ready, and join the film discussion with two guys from Chicago talking movies.
Ooh. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the At the Show podcast presented to you by Sadistic Penguin Studios. My name is Tom Yumper Garcia, and I'm with my co-host, Tony the Sugar Baggy, a.k.a. Chalsa, a.k.a. Tone Burt. How you doing, my man?
Doing good. Glad to be here today. Glad to talk this up. Just glad all around.
Awesome, man. Just a heads up to everybody that's listening or watching. I am caffeined out of my mind. I've been up since 5 a.m, so I have been drinking coffee nonstop. So I might have the shakes later on. But we got an action-packed.
I have been up since 5 a.m. and drinking zero caffeine. So we're on that.
But you're also a person that's never eaten a strawberry.
That's true. That's true.
But we got a great show for you guys today. It's on a somber note, though. We are celebrating the career of Michael Madsen, who recently passed last week. We're going to be going over some of our 10 favorite films, 5 a piece from us, discussing them. We also have a special guest today to discuss some soundtrack, a very funny soundtrack that's, when I was looking at it, it was pretty hilarious. You guys picked it. And we got some fun stuff along the way. We got our new segment of Back of the VHS box coming up, so a lot of cool and fun stuff coming up. Brian, nobody cares about your 16-hour work days. But with that tone, let's just jump right into it, my man, and go into our first segment of what we've been watching.
That's a me. And also, what were you just watching?
So what you watching this week, my man?
2 movies I've watched this week. First off is on HBO Max this past Friday. They have put Sinners on there. And I was like, I beat myself up since it says the poster April 18th, not going to the theater to see this one of all the greatness that they've talked about it. I should sit down and watch it. And it's probably one of the best movies of the year, if not, one of the best movies of the year for multiple different reasons. I've even talked to people who don't even like these type of movies, and they say it's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, not to give anything away, the acting is superb. What's funny about it is a couple weeks ago, I saw that movie I was telling you about with De Niro, where he played 2 roles, Alto Knights. And I was like, yeah, that just doesn't work. 2 people playing. It works in this movie. He did a good job playing both these roles, and all the other actors who are involved along the way. Really, really, really good job. Ryan Coogler is a great director, does an excellent job with that. And if you like cool movies, I don't even want to call it generally a vampire movie, but just a badass movie, and this is one's for you.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it yet. My brother, when it came out, went to go see it, said it was awesome. I'm just like way behind on watching anything new besides what I watched this week, which isn't even relatively new. But I do have it on my list. I also have the other stuff that you've been mentioning. I actually have a OneNote that I wrote all the stuff that you recommend me to, and it's gotten to like 4 pages, which is really bad. But I will let you go through it.
I love those pages. And to be fair, later there's a movie we're going to talk about that you picked tonight that I had never seen, and it's been on my back burner for a long, long time. And I was appreciative to you, and I was going to reach out to you, but we'll share my appreciative later. Awesome. The next movie, earlier today, I went with the family and we checked out the new Superman movie. Like Sinners, it will come close to another fun I had a great time. Being someone who's seen the last couple at the movie theater, the first one, Man of Steel, was okay with Henry Cavill. I didn't have a problem with that. But the Brandon Routh one, I went into that one with some pretty high expectations and left pretty sour. So this was the movie of the year for me, looking out to see how it was going to pan out. Was it going to fail? Was it going to flop? Was this going to, I mean, it's on pace, they said today, to outgross Barbie. So if that doesn't tell you a little something. To me, if I could compare it to anything, I'll compare it to the first Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. It's good, and you could see the potential of it to even be better where they're going from it. The what I liked the most, I think, out of it was that it's just a good time. I mean, to be fair, Sophia sat for 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Oh, nice.
And honestly, there's some talking in it. You know, it wasn't like it was nonstop action, but it's fun. It's light. It's light on your feet, but it's a good time. You know, and honestly, Nicholas Hoult does a great job as Lex Luthor. Does a great the gentleman who plays Superman. His name. I've been thinking of it all day and looking at his movies because he's in your movie too. What the hell's the Superman actor's name? I'm going to get it here in a second. But that being said, you know, it's definitely worth your time and your effort to go and see this weekend if you get an opportunity. David Corenswet is his name, and Rachel.
I don't want to interrupt you.
And Rachel Brosnahan from She Does a Great Job. I had a good time, and you know me, Yumper. We've talked about it 1,000 times. I'm not a comic book guy. So, like, I don't sit there on my lap and I'm not like got the comic books. I'm not like, this doesn't match up. And to be fair, when I saw there was like a super dog in the trailer, I was like, yeah, this is, I don't know about this. This is going to be like, you know, not good. But honestly, had a good time. So I suggest that one too.
So I've heard good things about this. To be honest with you, I was the same way when I saw the trailer. I think Superman has not been treated as well lately in films as the other Marvel superheroes. You know, DC has seemed to hit like home runs with Batman when they released them correctly. Even the Ben Affleck Batman, but that Superman movie with Ben Affleck wasn't that great. And then they did the Justice League, so it wasn't that great. And then, you know, the ones before with Harry Cavill as the Superman, they were okay, but they weren't like blockbusters. And it's nice to see that DC finally gets a win here. Also, I love James Gunn ever since his Tromaville stuff. So it's nice for him to show that he still has, you know, that ability to make big box office movies since leaving the Marvel franchise of Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh man, I'm still muttering there. And going over to DC and taking it over. So it makes me really, really happy that he is actually doing something cool with his ideas and kind of getting it ironed out over there, which gives me hope because there's been talks about him doing an actual Constantine movie or show, more closer to the Hellblazer comic book, which I actually am looking forward to as well. So if these do well, maybe they can start working on that. But really cool.
Money generally talks, and this week, if it makes as much as they're saying, you know, I think you're going to get your wishes. So hopefully it does. And I wait in anticipated breath for you to see both of these movies because it'll be a really good conversation when you do.
Yeah, Sinners I'll probably be watching soon, and then I'll probably go see Superman when I get a chance after this busy week. Until this movie, the best Superman project of the last 20 was Smallville. Yeah, I agree, and that was on what was it? The CW.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, that's really quick before we move on. You know, the coolest part about Superman, you'll appreciate it, and I don't want to mess up his name because you're going to know it right off the bat. Guy in Identity, the one with all the things in his head, Vincent Taylor Pruitt. Well, how do you say his name? I got it right. Great job as the real Earth father of Clark Kent. Like, to cast him in that role this far along in his career after all the movies he's been in compared to the last movie they got Kevin Costner, you know, a golden Hollywood star, but to really put it onto him and he really nails the part. I know you like him a lot as an actor. So if I haven't sold you enough, I just needed to tell you he was in it, and I thought it was pretty cool. He was.
So we both got it wrong. You said it correctly, but it's backwards. It's Pruitt Taylor Vince.
There we go. See, I've been saying it wrong all day. Thank you.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I saw him in the trailer. He's a great character actor. I failed to mention when we brought up the Cell for our fantasy films. He actually plays one of the doctors that talks about schizophrenia, which is kind of funny because he was an identity as the schizophrenic killer. He plays like odd weirdball characters, but he's actually a pretty decent character actor. Also, I know Michaela Hoover's in this film. She plays Cat Grant. And if you don't know who Michaela Hoover is, she actually got her start off Vine, which was that 5-second app. She grew into like she was doing skits with Rudy Mancuso, which is like he does a lot of music stuff. He's actually in the Flash movie. He's his friends that live in the apartment, one of his friends. But they both kind of went from Vine, and now she got hooked up with James Gunn doing the voiceover in The Last Guardians. And now he's known for casting his favorites. Like I know Michael Rooker's in this film as like a small role. So she's probably kind of following him while he's giving her little roles here and there. So look out for her probably getting like a more prominent role in movies going forward. So it's kind of cool.
Awesome. What have you been watching, my man?
So first I'll start off with, I tried to watch Fast and Furious, which is the 4th Fast and the Furious film. I had it on in the background, and I was doing some stuff for work because I knew it was going to be busy this next week. I could not get through it. It was so bad. And I remember first seeing it, and I didn't think it was that bad. And then watching it over again, I could only get through maybe the first 30 minutes of it because the dialogue is so horrible. And I'm not really a person that's like, oh, the dialogue is horrible. I got to turn it. It was just really, really bad. And so I turned it off, and I put on a film that I ended up watching instead of doing my work, and that is Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai. It's an older film. It's pretty hilarious by the name of it because it stars our buddy from Fast Time at Ridgemont High. He's also in the film with Keanu Reeves when they're cops, Mr. Forrest Whitaker, an Oscar winner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Street Kings. He plays a hitman who follows the way of the samurai. Now, it might sound like a B movie, but it's not even close to it. It has a great story. He works for the mob. He does follow the way of the samurai. If you're looking for that like kind of indie film that has like a hitman, story behind it, behind the mob, and a pretty decent, plot outline that doesn't slow down. It's actually, you would think it would be a slow burn, but actually it's pretty well balanced film. Check out Ghost Dog: Way of Samurai. Have you seen this film, Tone?
No, I have not. To be fair, this is one that I used to judge the cover. Because honestly, I love Forrest Whitaker. Like I could talk about all these great. He's in The Color of Money, did a great job. But I'm like, him, Samurai, And honestly, I was waiting to hear from you today, and you've already sold me. Obviously, I should watch this movie. So I'm going to.
Yeah, and the funny part is, we both love Above the Law. Henry Silva plays one of the mobsters in the film. Like I think he's his, and then John Tormey is his handler, Louis. It's a pretty decent cast. It has a lot of like layers to it, but he does a great job. I would highly recommend it. It's something that's right up your alley. If you love mob films, it does have that like mysterious noir, but more of an independent vibe. And it's not cheesy, which I thought it was going to be. And I was one of those people that when I first saw the trailer for it, I'm like, what the hell, Ghost Dog with Forrest Whitaker? But one day I watched it on TCM, and I really enjoyed it. So I actually bought it, and then I saw it on Prime the other day, and I watched it again.
Very awesome. Very awesome.
So shout out to Ghost Dog for saving me from watching Fast and the Furious. Another film I watched, which is finally I got to see Twisters, and I happened to sit down with my wife. We watched this film, and Tone, I don't know if I had like big expectations for this movie or what. Was it horrible? No, nowhere near horrible. Was it great? No, I think it was okay. I did not hate it. I didn't love it. I thought the lead character was kind of weird, and it was just, I don't know. I think there was just too much going on. I know that it kind of gave me like a kind of a rehashing of the first movie in a new way, because they're trying to release, the first one, they're trying to release the circular balls inside the tornado, right, to measure it. And then this one, they're trying to do it to prevent like future tornadoes coming. So I'm like, it's kind of like a rehashing. Um, my wife and I both gave it a 6 out of 10, so it's not a bad film. But I mean, maybe I was just expecting, because I heard so many good things about it. Like, I know you sold it to me, and then I went in and I'm like, man, like, am I missing something? And I was like, I wasn't trying to be too judgmental, but I just couldn't click with me that well.
I'd like to. Because I didn't really. If I sold it to you, man, that must have been. I was being a nice guy that day, because the only positive I could for me about the movie is that I mean, Glenn Powell does a pretty okay job, but not really. It's like one of those, he does a good job, but I mean, this is the differences between like this and Superman. This is definitely borrowing from that last movie, taking a lot of different things from that last movie. There isn't a whole lot of originality to it. I mean, I'd back it up personally till 6 out of 10 is okay, 5 out of 10. If I didn't have Katie telling me to stop during the whole thing, making negative comments, it probably would go lower. Honestly, worth watching though. I mean, all these movies, any movie I think is worth watching. So I'm glad you got to sit down and watch it. Just doesn't hold up to Bill, man. You can't. Bill Paxton's great.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad because Paxton actually wanted to make, Twisters too, Twister 2, and he just released Frailty, which kind of like was his big box office smash, as a director, and he wanted to like use that momentum to make Twisters, and they couldn't really decide on the budget, which is kind of ridiculous. But he does get a tribute because the kid that's arguing with the person in the hotel that they go in, that the guy dies anyway. The kid that's arguing with the hotel clerk, that's actually Bill Paxton's son. So he actually got Bill got some tribute there. But the CGI for this wasn't that great as expecting. It kind of still looked like the 1995 Twister movie.
They put it together. I mean, maybe it wasn't, movies get put together pretty quickly sometimes, I don't know.
And one thing I will say, there wasn't like those lovable characters in this film like there was in the first one. I think that's probably why it kind of like weighed a little bit on me when I watched it. But if you haven't seen it, like Brian says, it's way better than expected. I will give it that. That said, the expectation going for it was lower than low. So the bar was set low, but it met the bar. So if you want to go see it, it's on Prime, and I believe it's also on Max, Twisters. So check that out. But that is what we have been watching. Let us know what you've been watching over at the Show Pod on Twitter, X, or whatever hell Elon calls it until it starts throwing out those racist messages with Gronk. Or you let us know in the comments on YouTube. Tone, we have a special guest for your segment, the Sugar Baggy Soundtrack Pick of the Week. So let's throw that intro up, and then you can introduce our guests and go into it, my man.
Let's do it.
The Sugar Baggy Soundtrack Pick of the Week.
All right, tonight for our soundtrack pick of the week, we got pop star Never Stopping, and tonight we got a legend, and let's bring him to the show here first before we do some introductions. Is he here? Where's he at?
Oh, I'm here.
Hello, my man. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Ghost Dog sounds like a Tim Allen 90s movie about, yeah.
Oh, man, he doesn't do the in it, though.
How are you, Hans? How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I am so excited to talk about Popstar. Like this, I love this movie. I love this soundtrack. I don't think it gets the love that it deserves. I mean, just looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score, it's like a 79 from the critics. It's a 65 from the audience. You don't see that very often.
No.
Especially with comedies.
No, you don't. But thank you. Before we hop into here, the soundtrack, It's been a while, man. Like I was telling you before the show, 3 years, but we've dug into some movies together.
It feels like just yesterday.
We've dug into it was a marathon. It was like over 3 hours on The Dark Knight. And
it's a lot to say, I guess.
I think it's still going somewhere. And then we also talked the great 80s classic 48 Hours. That was that was a blast. And
I remember hating it.
I remember my muffler falling off on the way, and it just like I got there right in time, and you guys were so accommodating. So, but thank you for joining us. Let's hop right into this soundtrack, my man. What I really wanted to do when I was introducing you today was this.
Love it. Love it.
But again, pop star never stop. And when's the first time you heard this soundtrack, my man?
I mean, I saw this movie in the theater. Ooh, and then I immediately came home and went to iTunes and downloaded the entire soundtrack because there's like 22 songs on it. Like they made full songs that some were never in the movie and others played for like a 2-second bit.
That's true.
But they're whole songs. Like
that is true. And when you said you saw this in the movie theaters, when you think about it, this is back in 2016. The soundtrack was released June 3rd. I mean, 48 minutes and 53 seconds. It has got, what's hilarious is all these producers on this album. You know, I mean, the amount of work that they put into this thing is pretty huge when you really think about it.
Well, that's why I feel like it's one of the most underappreciated movies of all time because it's hard enough to be funny in a movie or just in general in any type of content you're creating. And then you add another level, like you're swinging a bat with a donut to like, then I'm making bangers too. Like the actual music's good. Like if you just break it, like the lyrics are silly and funny, but the actual, they're kind of bops.
Well, that's you know, the Lonely Island, you know, digging into these guys. I mean, these guys, I mean, you got to know what you're doing if you're putting this together. You know what I mean? They wrote the full length. They fully produced all the songs for the film, you know, and, you know, as you stated, I mean, they sound legit. You know, this isn't like jokesters here. This isn't like,
like it's actual musical talent alongside and then coupled with incredibly funny and like some of these songs actually like are saying something, like they're silly, but they're like not political, but like they're saying something.
Well, that's the crazy thing about comedians. I mean, Steve Martin started off, you know, with his what was it, the King Tut song. Dude played banjo, and then of course you go to John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd.
I saw sorry to derail, but I saw him play the banjo on stage. I went to his play called Bright Star in New York, like I don't know, like 10 years ago or something. And he came out at intermission and played the banjo.
Yeah, he's awesome, man.
It was fantastic.
Super talented. But like it seems to go hand in hand with Saturday Night Live, people coming from that can just do music. I mean, Adam Sandler, of course. You know, he started, and then, you know, Andy Samberg just basically carried that on going forward. And like you said, yeah, all these songs they're ridiculous, but they're really awesome to listen to and hilarious. Which is why I was laughing when you guys picked the soundtrack. It made me, it cracked me up thinking about it.
Well, he had reached out and was like, yeah, I'd talk about the Popstar soundtrack on the Hookup on Music. And I was like, you know what? It would be better if we talked about it on here because it's a soundtrack and we can use it as a cool part here. And as you're in the movie itself, you don't get artists like, you know, Adam Levine and Steele and, you know, you don't get these
Linkin Park and Akon and Seal. Like it's absurd.
They don't buy into this.
Michael freaking Bolton.
Yeah, they don't buy into this unless they're doing something of what would be called comedic worth, I think, you know. But, you know, digging through this, I mean, the soundtrack, as you said, lots and lots and lots of ridiculous of songs. You know what I mean? What would you say going into it, would you say are some of your top ones?
So my number one is Incredible Thoughts with Michael Bolton. And and it's Justin Timberlake, but he's credited as Mr. Fish. That song's amazing. I mean, it's incredible. And Things in My Jeep with Chester from Linkin Park. It's so stupid and ridiculous, but it's just perfect because Chester's just doing his Chester thing of screaming. Like all the artists they get to come on, they're taking it seriously. You know, like they're doing their thing, they're showcasing their chops, but it's just nonsense. I mean, I love the Equal Rights Pink song. Like, I think that's absurd and amazing.
Oh, I mean, the way, I'll be honest with you, when they first saw this movie coming out, and I'm a huge music fan, I was like, what is this? I don't know about this. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sold on Andy Samberg from the go.
I love him.
But this is the thing. Everything I've seen him in, I've loved. I even like, honestly, people might dislike me. I thought the movie with Sandler was funny. You know, there's some laughs in that movie.
Hey, there's some problematic stuff.
There is.
Definitely.
Well, there is. There
but
is.
When it's just those two doing their thing together, it's fun.
That's what I mean. I couldn't tell you anything about the movie right now. So you saying I'll have to rewatch it because I watched it once and I was like, that was some funny stuff.
But I think I saw that in the theater too.
I mean, Hot
Rod's incredible.
Great movie. I mean, that's really what I'm talking about. Pop Star, great movie. After watching it and putting myself into the position to see it, and then
I mean, Dear Sister is still my favorite sketch of all time. It's incredible.
It's been parodied like so many times.
It's so good. It's so perfect. Like,
I actually watched that the other day, which is kind of funny. Bill Hader's another guy who doesn't get his flowers a lot.
Oh my god. He's that dude. If he wants to, he's gonna win an Oscar, an Emmy, or whatever. I don't know if you've seen Barry, but that's like, it's an achievement. Like he's such a good actor that you just wouldn't think because he's on Saturday Night Live doing Stefan and all the silly, crazy stuff he does. But man,
oh, he's great in Barry. But the person that always cracks me up is Hank from Barry.
Oh, no, Hank. Yeah,
no.
He's fantastic. I mean, everyone, Henry Winkler, like everyone is so good in it. Like it almost makes me angry. It's like you're funny. You shouldn't be able to be this good at like everything.
And the crazy thing is, have you seen like his interviews? Like he started off as basically a production assistant.
Yeah, he was a PA on like movie. Like he's like just like a normal, cool guy. It seems like he would just sit in like the South Park writers' room and just like hang out. Like he wouldn't really write or anything. He'd just like sit there and laugh at their jokes.
Yeah, he's great. You guys are talking about like the famous people in this, there are, like you said, Justin Timberlake's in here. I know Nas is in here. Carrie Underwood. One thing I did look at when I was looking for like just trivia points is that people were comparing this soundtrack to Spinal Tap. Critics were, which is kind of amazing considering that,
well,
the
it should
Spinal
be.
Tap had.
Like, I would say that it's even more difficult, like because they're clearly making jokes. Like it's like I don't know. I felt like Spinal Tap, like it was satire. It was supposed to, it was making fun of it, but like just some of the lyrics and it's
time period. I think goes into a lot of this. Like I said, you got a guy like me going, "Oh, I don't know if I'll watch this," and it really took a little bit for me to sit down and watch it and be like, "This is good." Spinal Tap in the 80s was like pretty much feeding someone ice cream. They were ready for it. And that's a little bit more. These guys really put some. I'm not saying Spinal Tap didn't put a whole lot of work into it, but
yeah, they're the same idea, but like they're executed very differently.
Yeah. But it's cool from my perspective that Popstar would even be mentioned in the same, because I mean, Spinal Tap's a legendary soundtrack, and Popstar, hopefully,
it should be. I don't think it's appreciated. Like, I don't think a lot of people even know about this movie.
But that's one of the things why hopefully after listening to this, amazing breakdown of this soundtrack, people are like, "Oh, let's go buy the vinyl." I mean,
if anyone takes away that they need to watch this movie or listen to these songs, I'll be happy. Just even one person. Because I love it so much, and I'll never stop talking about it. I'll never stop talking about it.
And that's the crazy thing about like films that have actor-induced soundtracks. One movie that I like that hasn't doesn't get a lot of love. It's not the greatest film, but I really like The Rocker with Buddy from Office Space. because Teddy Geiger actually does the soundtrack for it, and he sings in the film. It's got Emma Stone in there, and some of the music they actually play in there is actually pretty good. And even though they beat the hell out of one song,
I haven't seen that, but Emma Stone does show up on a song in this too.
Yeah.
It's any kind of what are bad musicals? You know what I mean? Is there,
Well, I love musicals. Like, I also have that. Like, I do.
Bad
I'm a
musicals?
Not like musicals, like I don't mean like Wicked,
But
like I
like
mean more like
music-based.
movies like Spinal Tap type movies,
Grease
which aren't a
2?
lot. What?
Grease
Which one?
2?
Oh,
Grease
what
2?
movie? What
Well, there's
two?
a reason there aren't a lot because it's so difficult.
Oh, Grease 2.
Yeah, Grease 2.
Oh, okay, yes, of course, Grease 2. But
It's
I
such a
mean,
level of difficulty that, like, why would you
La Bamba.
subject yourself to that extra level of hardship? Like, if you could just do funny shit, okay,
This isn't
but
really like La
like then you're
Bamba.
gonna throw all this other level on there. Like, to what
Neither's
end?
Grease.
Like you're a lunatic to try and make something like this.
Like
Oh.
comedy, like musical. It's like this is like into like the UHF Weird Al category. I mean, there's
I love
not,
UHF.
there's not a lot of it, but
Yeah, because it's so difficult.
and to be fair, I mean, you're taking a huge risk. I mean, how much money did you say the budget was for this? Or how much did it make? It didn't make
It didn't do super well, I don't think.
super well, but I know that they put in over.
I don't think it was a
10.
bomb, but like I don't think it was like. I mean, they didn't
It
make
was.
any more.
This one actually lost money. It was a $20 million budget with a $9 million gross.
For 20 million?
Yeah, it had a
For
$20 million
20, they
budget.
lost half the
Oh,
money.
that's so upsetting to me.
I
Well, I'm
know.
pretty sure all that money, most of that money went into getting the artists to appear.
Probably too. That's true too.
So,
Makes sense.
That upsets me.
but yeah, it is kind of like a UHF film. But anything with Andy Samberg, I watched. Like you guys were talking about his films, with the one with Adam Sandler. One of my favorite films with him is actually he plays a side character, and it's an "I Love You, Man" with Paul Rudd.
Oh yeah,
As the
yeah,
brother.
he's like his brother, right?
Yeah, he's hilarious in that too. But he's very talented, like extremely talented to mix humor and music. It's kind of hard to do, and most people don't do it, and he pulls it off excellently.
Yeah, because usually that's like two different sides of the brain. You'd think, like, and then you can do them both. It's just like, how do you do that? I can barely even do either of them. Like, how do you do both of them so well?
Yeah, it was excellently done. So when did you first discover this film, Hans?
I saw it in theaters.
So did you see a trailer?
In
that just popped
2016. I think I honestly don't remember what made me go see it. I think I just liked Andy Samberg. Like, he's just delightful. He's hard to dislike. I enjoy him in almost anything he's in. Like, I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think that's also a semi-underrated show.
Yeah, I actually like that show a lot too. The crazy thing is, I didn't even know this movie existed until like maybe 3 years after it was released. I
Yeah.
happened to see a trailer online, and I was like, "What?" And then I went and watched it, which it was totally worth it. But I was just like, I don't think it got enough publicity like it should have.
No, like everyone should know this movie, and hardly anyone does, and it frustrates me.
Pretty cool that it debuted at number 1 on the comedy albums when it came out. I mean, I don't know how much competition, but still, I mean, number 1 of anything is.
Yeah.
And honestly, number 69 on the Billboard Top 200 for this movie not to even gross half of its money back. That's not too shabby either, I don't think.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of the movies we talk about on this show. That's some of them are called classics.
I mean, this I feel like this should be a cult classic, but I don't feel like it's talked about that way.
One of the coolest things when I met you, Hans, and still was very inspiring, was on your guys' show. You had a plan to meet Nancy
Allen. I still have
Nancy Allen.
Yeah.
But
Officer Lewis and RoboCop.
this guy's a big RoboCop fan.
Love
I know you like real RoboCop. RoboCop.
My favorite movie of all time.
It's favorite movie of all time.
That's hilarious, Hans, because one of our fellow people that we collaborate with, Keelan, That's one of her favorite movies, and she texts me sometimes the Clarence Boddicker line of "Bitches leave." So
every performance in that is amazing. Like, I mean, I love Verhoeven. Like, he's my guy. He's just this creepy perv Dutch dude, but whatever. He makes awesome movies.
Have you seen a documentary that they had released about it?
Yeah, I did. My favorite part was when like a stagehand, like a boom guy or something, was eating Oreos, and and Peter Weller was doing like method, and he's like, "You have to call me Robo," and he's like, "Robo wants Oreos." He's like, "Peter, I'm not. If you ask me as you, I'll give you Oreos, but if I'm not doing this."
Yeah, this is crazy. I love the way I'm a big practical effect guy. I do appreciate CGI, but like the fact that all the stuff they did in this film, practically, for like when it came to the screen of the targeting system, just the intricate way of doing that was awesome. I really like that the documentary because it showcases that. But
I love practical so much, and like the squibs, man. I mean, that's a Verhoeven thing, but like the Kinney boardroom scene is just we'll never see that again. That is
definitely
like I have many favorite things about that movie, but I think the most is the director's cut is like 10 seconds or like 7 seconds longer, and it's just that scene a little bit longer. It's just him getting obliterated more.
Yeah,
it's the only thing he added back.
Did you ever see there's a YouTube video of like Kinney Lives, and like they basically like Ed 209 shoots him, and he does like he flies back, and then like it kind of like loops of him just looking at everybody and everybody looking at him, and him looking at everybody looking, and then it ends. It's just so random. Somebody took time to edit that, but it's pretty funny.
I love that scene. That's the most upsetting scene in cinema to me. It's so that's like the horrific thing I could imagine.
Well, the best part is he tries to run behind somebody, and they throw him out. They throw him away from them. So
yeah, that's what makes it so upsetting. Is it's in this like situation we've all kind of been in, like at work, like with your coworkers at a desk table in a meeting, and all of a sudden you're about to there's a countdown to your death.
And then Dick Jones, being a true dick's like, "Oh, it's just a minor setback."
I know. Oh, God, it's so good, so good.
When we do a deep dive on RoboCop, we'll have you on.
Oh, please, because like I said, we'd never do RoboCop until Nancy Allen agreed to come on. So, and I have yet to figure out how to get in touch with her.
we're gonna find her.
Oh, I want that. I need that. She's the best.
So Hans, anything you want to plug, my man?
Yeah, I got a couple shows. I've been doing a comic book club where we every couple weeks we go look at I do it with a friend of mine, and she doesn't really know comic books, and I do, and so I have her read things, and then she tells me what she thinks is happening, and then I tell her what actually happened. So that one's fun. And then I've been doing a football show. It's called Skull v Grit. It's with a friend who is a Lions fan from Michigan, and we talk Vikings and Lions, do all that.
So I'm assuming you're a Vikings fan?
Yeah. Oh, and if anyone's in Tampa at the beginning of August, we'll be doing a live show at Tampa Bay Comic-Con.
So, nice. Awesome.
Awesome. That's really cool, my man.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I wanted to tell you before he goes, if I didn't meet Hans and Hans puts together some intricate notes, I wouldn't appreciate your notes, Yump, because you two guys are like the notes. I love to see you two in a room just putting notes together. You guys are notes.
Yeah, when we did the action movie show, man, I'd have like 8 pages of notes for every movie.
Okay, yeah, for every movie. Yeah, dude. I think like right now, this page is notes. I usually re-release our notes for every post we do. Mine average like 27 to 35 pages. So I mean, I'm a big movie
I did
nerd.
it handwritten for the longest time.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Even
worse. That's what I mean. Like,
if I did a handwritten, I wouldn't even be able to read my own handwriting. That's how bad it is.
Well, yeah, that got to be a problem. And then, so I finally adjusted.
And if you listen to this show, Hans, like, I cannot pronounce names worth of shit.
Dude, me either. I grew up in Iowa, so like I knew people named John and Joe Smith. So if you give me something outside of that, I'm mushmouth. I can't.
Oh,
I
dude,
can't
I'm
do
so
it.
bad. And Tony just laughs at me, and I'm like, and then I asked Tony, "Is that how you pronounce it?" He's like, "Yeah, I think so." And then we find out it isn't. Nah, man, we gotta have you on more, Hans.
Yeah.
For sure, man.
Anytime. I love hanging out with you guys. So
Yeah,
this was
love
fun.
talking movies, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure, my man.
absolutely. I'll do that forever.
Well, before you go, Hans, you want to stick around? We have a new segment that we do. It's called Behind the VHS Box, where I'll describe a film from the 80s or 90s, and you guess what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I'm
So I'll be right up
do it.
your alley then. So let's go straight to that segment then, Tone.
Let's do it.
The bat, the beat fix pumps. The bat, the beat fix pumps. The bat, the beat fix pumps.
All right, so here we go. Here is our description here. He's been away for 5 years, but now he's back, and nothing can prepare him for what's waiting at home. When a small town sheriff finds his peaceful life shattered by corruption, greed, and a ruthless crime boss, he'll stop at nothing to clean up his hometown, even if it means going to war. This is a small town justice served with a sledgehammer.
Is this a comedy?
No, this is not a comedy.
I feel like I know this.
For a minute, I was thinking, is that one where like it was the one with Patrick Swayze where he's a father and he gets out of prison? It's like father of the son. Oh, I forgot that one. Okay.
Wait, Patrick Swayze?
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, but
You know, I was thinking about Ted Danson and Macaulay Culkin
that one too.
getting even with Dad. No, it's not a
Yeah.
comedy. It is a 90s film, though.
Can you read it one more time, please?
Sure. He's been away for 5 years, but now he's back, and nothing can prepare him for what's waiting at home. When a small town sheriff finds his peaceful life shattered by corruption, greed, and a ruthless crime boss, he'll stop at nothing to clean up his hometown, even if it means going to war. This is a small town justice served the sledgehammer.
I don't think I have a guess, but I feel like I should know this. I feel like I do know this, and I'm going to be angry when I hear it.
Any guesses, Tone?
The
Oh,
Tony freeze.
Look at that face he makes. The face he's making. In
It's always the best.
So Tony froze. You don't have any guesses at all, Hans?
Oh, small town sheriff.
It's all right. It is a classic film that has some really big actors in it. That's probably the best hint I can give you. Because if I give you this other hint, you'll know it right away.
Yeah, I know. I don't know which one. Like, I don't think this is it, but like Stallone's Copland is the thing that comes to mind. But
Good job. You guessed it.
that's it.
Yeah, it's Copland. If I gave you the hint, Sylvester Stallone.
Never
is the
actually
sheriff.
seen that movie.
Oh my goodness! Really?
It's even better.
Oh, dude, you
I'm
gotta
good at
watch it.
this.
It's very, very good. Very, very good. So, so Tony just came back. We're gonna say, Tony, do you know the answer?
No,
Because I got it. So
Yeah, Hans magically guessed without ever seeing the
never
film.
actually. I haven't seen the movie, but I got it.
Well,
There you go.
where'd you
I'm
go,
trying to
Tony?
save myself here so I don't I can
Cheap
tell when my
viewers.
thing's about to go.
Oh man, we're
My-
getting bots. We're getting big, Tony.
What was it?
Copland.
Oh, I was not thinking that. And I love that movie.
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
Hans never saw it and guessed it.
Good job.
I know a lot about stuff I've never actually seen.
Who gets out of jail after 5 years in that movie?
No, he's back after 5 years. Remember, he had the ear injury.
Oh, see, I was hearing it. See there. I was
Yeah.
thinking it was like Nowhere to Run with Claude Van Damme.
Right.
Wrong category. Good job, Hans. You
I
saved
remember
me
that film.
tonight.
That movie's so bad.
Saved me. Thank you.
No, but that's our back of the VHS box challenge that we usually do every show. If you got it right, let us know in the comments. If you were so smart as Hans. So
Good luck.
Hans is 1 for 1. Tony and you are 0 for 2, my man. We gotta get you into that winning category.
Very cool.
But Hans, thank you so much for coming on, my man. We definitely are gonna have you on again. Plug your stuff one more time, my man. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was a blast. Comic Book Club on all your podcast catchers. Skull v Grit, same everywhere. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on, dude.
Yeah, it was great.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
I could totally see why you get along with him so well, Tone. He totally fits into our personalities.
Well, he again, back in the day of the old show, he someone from the 108, one of those guys was like, you want to talk to someone about movies? Here's this guy. And I'll be frankly honest with you. I was like shocked that you guys hadn't talked to him, because you could see Blast. That's why I got started on RoboCop, because honestly, he's your cup of Joe. He loves that cool action movies, man. I mean, and that's what we like to talk about here. So I thought when he reached out about Popstar, it was totally not like what we usually talk about. I was like, come on here. I'd like you to meet him. So it's a good time.
Awesome, man. Really good time. Really loved his insight on things. His comic book show actually intrigues me because it makes me think of the Roxy bit we do, where she sees movies and then she tells us about them. It's kind of funny that
he's been doing the show a while too. So, and honestly, you could even go back to his old movie show and hear those old movie episodes. He does a really good job. So check that out.
I definitely will check it out, my friend. But moving on, again, shout out to Hans for coming on. We're going to be moving on to the career of our guy, Michael Madsen, who passed away at the age of 67 last week. Unfortunately, it's kind of bittersweet to do these shows because I love Michael Madsen. I love his films. Not all of them. I mean, they're not all great, but I mean, he's just a person that was predominantly there growing up. I saw him as so many character actor roles, small roles, music videos, stuff like that. And unfortunately, he passed. It's nothing's guaranteed, and at a young age of 67, just out of nowhere. So it kind of sucks that we lost someone, but we get to go through a show, kind of paying tribute to him.
Always the coolest thing. That's why I love this show. I love doing the show because we have such likeness to movies. Even not gonna say in the old show there was, even because that action stuff, my old partner didn't like that stuff like you do. I know how exciting. I mean, if me and you were in the same room with Michael Madsen, how awesome that would have been. And honestly, having met him, I'm hoping that to share this episode possibly with his sister. Maybe we can talk to her sometime. Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, just really awesome to be able to do this tonight.
Yeah, I would totally geek out over just Candyman. Like, I ever talked to Tony.
That's why I told you you would be perfect for it. And I honestly, I just feel very like, of all the people I feel like I can reach out to, because of this time I met her, and it being this club that her father was a part of, and my family, just to say, hey, I remember this spot and we honored your brother. So we'll see. We'll try to see what we can work on. But what tonight is about is just awesomely to talk about Michael. I mean, there are a movie that we're going to talk about a little later that you showed me that I had never seen, and his performance was great in it. And a movie, an actor like him, he should be reveled.
Yeah, he should. He's a great actor. He should get his flowers, and it shouldn't be when you pass that this happens. But unfortunately, he did pass. But he should have been when he was alive. He should have got more of his flowers. But we are more than willing to give them to him. Now we always talk about him. We mentioned him in so many episodes, and it's really an honor to dedicate a full episode to him with our 10 favorite Michael Madsen films. So some of these films you might have heard of, and some of them you didn't. Actually, one of the first things we're going to talk about is actually a TV show, Tone, that I picked. So let's get right into my first one.
He bought a lousy $8,000 in my game. If I run out of toilet paper at home, I wipe my ass with $8,000. 9 if I've had chili.
The 2005 series Tilt. He played the role of Don the Matador Everest. Now, this was a series on ESPN. For those who are old enough to remember, ESPN used to put out some great content to go along with SportsCenter and inside the NFL. They had, original programming. It started with Playmakers,
Great
which
show.
was a great show. And Playmakers only got canceled because it was too real, and the NFL did not like that because it was putting the NFL in a negative light. So it got canceled after the first season. So when the poker boom happened, they took their shot at a poker-centric show called Tilt. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Tilt is not a great show. Has a lot of horrible acting in it, but the reason it is palatable, the reason you can watch it is because of Michael Madsen as the Matador. Even though he plays the role over the top, he just does it in a way where you're glued to every scene that he's in. Uh, he does that cool Michael Madsen kind of like dialogue where he gives his little, he has like a very like particular way he delivers his lines, like I just did in that opening clip for this segment. And it's totally worth it. It also features real poker players like Phil Hellmuth, Daniel Negreanu, David Williams, TJ Codier, and of course the commentators Lon McLaren and Norman Chad. So you got some of the, blending the lines between reality and fiction. It actually has a decent plot as he's basically a guy who sets up his games by paying off people and having ringers in. That the only thing I don't like is that they signal, and it's kind of like that's kind of like an old way that people would know, they can figure out you're cheating.
He
But
broke my hand, man.
yeah, nobody learned from Casino. Obviously, the Matador didn't. That's like, of course, the other dialogue of some of the actors, the delivery is really bad. Like Chris Bauer is really bad in this film, this series. But Michael Madsen makes up for it, and it just shows how great of an actor he is because he basically made chicken salad out of chicken shit. Tone, have you seen this series?
To be fair, when it first came on, I did, but now I mean that's been 20 years ago. I didn't. So to be fair, not enough to like throw in on this, but again, even to the point when you told me about it, I'm like looking under movies, and then I was like, hold on a second here, and then I went to TV and I was like, oh, Tilt TV show. I do remember this, but not very much. Probably because of what you said of the acting, but I don't even think I could have told you Michael Madsen was in this, but I'm willing to watch every scene he's in because obviously he's incredible.
Yeah. If you ever watch the first episode, it's the beginning of it is so bad. I remember because 2005, I was a sophomore in college. I was, again, I was rounding. I was playing a lot of cards while going to school. So it was something I was really into. I was just, back then years, I used to watch a lot of video on poker and stuff like that just to see what I can learn. And when this was coming out, I was at the height of the poker boom. I'm like, oh, cool, another show. I was a big fan of Rounders, so I expected kind of that Rounders feeling to it. And then I watched the first 10 minutes of the episode, and it's basically these two guys faking that they're fighting at a poker table, which is completely unrealistic. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is horrible. And then Michael Madsen came in, and I'm like, okay, this is palatable. I can get through this. And basically, he's the reason I watched the show. The main reason I watched the show. It's considered one of the worst television series of all time by the Two Fish at the Table podcast, which is a gambling podcast. I do not agree with that because they obviously have not seen Caveman or Cavemen. That show was really bad, or that 80s show, which was really bad. But it is not great. And the reason I wanted to mention this is because it's to show his talent and his charisma and his delivery can basically, like I said, make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
I mean, I'll give it to him. It was pretty cool that they gave him the nickname the Matador on the show. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a pretty cool nickname.
Yeah. And of course, he, like I said, his delivery, his mannerisms, he makes it cool. And the crazy thing is, this series ends on a cliffhanger. It ends on a cliffhanger, and it was canceled, never shown on. At least Playmakers ended with them losing at the end of the season.
It's true.
This one ends with a cliffhanger, which cracks me up. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out just for Michael Madsen alone, Tone. Now, I am warning you, the acting is bad, but it's worth it because of Michael Madsen.
Hey, that's what we're here tonight.
Yeah, so check it out if you got the time and if you like poker and you like bad movies. But with that, Tony, let's get into your first pick of the night, my friend.
What happened to Hanson?
Oh, he didn't make it. And neither did you.
1994 film The Getaway. He plays the role of Rudy Travis, and this is directed by Roger Donaldson, who did The World's Fastest Indian, No Way Out, Species, The Bounty, McLaurin, Cocktail, and The Recruit. The film also stars Alec Baldwin, Kim Basinger, James Woods, Jennifer Tilly, Richard Farnsworth, and Dave Morrissey. It had a budget of $5 million and a box office of $30 million. Tone, tell me why you picked this one, my man.
Dude, if you were 9 years old and I was 12 years old back in 1994, I could see myself trying to explain this movie to you and you just being like, just like smiling. Like this was like the coolest movie in the world when I first saw this movie. And it's the original. I mean, the original is a lot better with Steve McQueen. But what I like about this movie is like, it's got like that 90s cheesiness sheen over it. And I think really Michael Madsen's performance in this is what I always remember for a couple reasons. Well, he's a big sleazebag in this movie, which he plays it to a great, great effect. But there's this scene, and I'll never forget it because it's been stuck in my head for, now going on 30 years. The scene where he's got Jennifer Tilly and he's like got the husband tied up, but he's like making love to her like in the bed or whatever. And being like 12 years old, I remember thinking to myself, like, that is like the cruelest thing you can do to somebody. But that's so cool that he did that. Like, I thought like Michael Madsen was just like the coolest guy in this movie. And even more importantly, I didn't even know it. We're going to get to it later in another movie that you mentioned that I enjoyed, but ridiculous wigs. Madsen wears this ridiculous long hair wig. I don't know if it's his real hair. I don't know if it's a wig, but it's incredibly awesome because it adds another layer of just what his character is. And I mean, honestly, Baldwin, I think, does a good job in the movie. Basinger is kind of flighty. She's here nor there. But for just what they were trying to pull off in this, David Morse, I think he does a good job. Jennifer Tilly does a great job. You got James Woods. I think it's kind of as far as like it's kind of like a Roadhouse type of movie to me. It's a fun time.
Yeah, and it also has like a young Philip Seymour Hoffman in this film.
That's who plays his friend. That's great.
My favorite thing about this like all-star cast is it has Richard Farnsworth, who appeared with us on our deep dive with Misery. He plays the sheriff, and he was very upset that they swear at him a lot. He was embarrassed by it. Speaking of Jennifer Tilly, she openly loved doing her nude scenes in this film, saying it was freeing and sharing a wild story about meeting Michael Madsen and then immediately being told to undress for their first scene together.
Oh, interesting.
I'm hoping it was the director that told her that, and not. But yeah, it's crazy. Jennifer Tilly used to be really big in the 90s, and I believe she was an Oscar nominee as well. Oh, yes. This film includes 2 Oscar winners, Kim Basinger and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and 4 Oscar nominees, James Woods, Alec Baldwin, Jennifer Tilly, and Richard Farnsworth. So we've had a lot of Oscar people in this film. This film is a ridiculous, Tone. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Very ridiculous.
But it is definitely like just the plot outline of it. It's crazy. I kind of found it funny that Baldwin called this a bomb and it made like $30 million out of a $5 million budget. So it really wasn't a bomb. But then again, it's Alec Baldwin. So
I think they were thinking like 80, 90 on 5 million. Like, wow, we're really going to take this home tonight. Like, but again, I think I think for what they were trying to go for, I mean, honestly, it's cool as if you sit down and watch the original.
That's with Steve McQueen.
And then you watch this one because the original's like Sam Peckinpah.
Mhm.
It's pretty gritty. It's cool. This one's like cheesy cool, but like there's still like the guy tying the wife to the chair and all that. That's in the original. So like you can see this is like one of the first, probably, if you were to ask me, is this the first remake that I ever saw? Possibly. I mean, I don't think before 94 what was a remake that I possibly could have saw.
Did you see Scarface before this?
No.
Well, it was a remake, so.
There was. No, that wasn't until probably 15, 16. Question, though.
One thing that cracks me up is Michael Madsen's hair is like ridiculously long in his film.
So I told you, it's ridiculous.
Like, he looks like an earlier version of Bud. This could have been Bud's origin story.
It really could have. It really, I mean, it's just really crazy. And honestly, it was also crazy because, you know, how I totally forgot we're talking the James Bond movies, that he was even in James Bond. When I was doing research for this.
One of his quotes is pretty funny. It's been my experience that having friends is overrated. That always made me laugh. I don't know why, but it's a great line. And his name is Rudy Travis. So 2 first names as his name. So some early Michael Madsen in here that is very, very done well.
Well, he always really, what he had a really kind of like I think a cool charisma, in a lot of the things that he did.
Yeah, he's got swag.
Yeah,
definitely swag, and it's from the way he presents himself. It's always been that way. His facial expressions also, like in a film we're going to talk about later, are great too. He's the whole package, man. Back then he was a good-looking dude. He had swagger. He delivered his lines in a certain way, and like he had a mystique towards him that drew people to want to watch him.
It's true.
And even though sometimes he wasn't the main character, a lot of times he wasn't. He still made you remember him for one thing or another. And you will definitely remember him out of this movie as Rudy Travis.
That is definitely true.
But let's move on to our next one, my friend.
We intend to disarm them and take them in, Doc. You understand?
Oh, I understand, Virgil. But you think they will?
Put that under your coat. No use provoking them until we get a chance to talk.
Hell, I've heard enough talk already.
1994's Wyatt Earp. He plays the role of Virgil Earp. It's directed by Lawrence Kasdan, who did The Big Chill, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Silverado, and French Kiss. Along with Michael Madsen, it's Kevin Costner, Gene Hackman, Dennis Quaid, David Andrews, and Lyndon Ashby. The movie had a budget of $63 million and a box office of $25 million. Now, this is one of my picks. I will go on to say this. This film was released a year after Tombstone. I have no idea why they wanted to release another Wyatt Earp film. Tombstone is based more off the town of Tombstone, and then the when Earp ran, basically like his he was basically a vigilante, getting people that killed his brother, which is a true story. But they decided to release this film, and Kevin Costner was offered the role of Wyatt Earp in Tombstone and turned it down for this film, which is a big mistake. And it seems that like since Dances with Wolves, Kevin Costner westerns have not been doing too well in terms of the box office. What was his film that got released? The American West was really bad this year. So this was a bomb. It does have an all-star cast in it. And the reason I chose this film is because even though Michael Madsen did not like this film, he called it long, stupid, and boring. His performance as Virgil Earp is really, really good. He does a great job. Before in the other Tombstone film, we might remember the role of Virgil being played by Mr. Mustache himself, Sam Elliott, who does a great job in there as well. I think the if you do a contrast and comparison of the two roles, like of each character in here, I think he does an excellent job in it with Sam Elliott. They both give their kind of like spin on it. I thought it was really done well. And to be honest, Tone, your boy Quaid does a different kind of spin on the Doc Holliday character. Not as good as Val, but it's interesting enough to keep me interested in it. I just think Kevin Costner sucks as Wyatt Earp. Lyndon Ashby was okay as Morgan. But there was no Johnny Ringo in this film. It was very boring. It was a lot of sitting around in this film. While I feel like I don't think Tombstone's an automatic classic, I think like in this film, Michael Madsen's performance kind of helped me get through it. Just like Val Kilmer's performance in Tombstone is epic to me. So I understand why people chose Tombstone over this film. Because the other one, Tombstone is better in general. But this film does deserve some flowers for some performances that don't get mentioned a lot, and that is of the Virgil Earp role and of the Dennis Quaid role. What do you think about this film, Tom?
Pretty much everything that you said, I would agree with. I'll always remember going to the video store and the lady telling my mom that for over a month, I guess my dad hadn't returned 2 movies. Wyatt Earp and something with bikinis. It was like a whole bunch of things I shouldn't have heard. Pretty much it was the Clerks. It was the Clerks scene when they're reading the movie titles. And my mom's face, she looks so embarrassed. And I'll never forget because she like played it off to us. Like I'll never forget. Like it wasn't like she was like, "Can you believe it?" Like we got in the car. I was like, "What was that about? What was that movie?" And she's like, "They were wrong. They didn't know. They didn't know what they were saying." And then like later, I remember just like screaming upstairs about a movie. But I'm more concerned of because I don't remember ever my dad ever talking about this movie, why he held on to this, and he owed the video store Wyatt Earp for a whole month. But we could have a whole show one day about that little room that they used to have at the video stores that I used to try to.
Oh my God.
But okay, back over here. Number one, before doing this show, I was under the impression for a long time that Costner directed this movie, but he didn't. So I guess that takes like one little sliver off of Costner's plate. He did do Postman, which wasn't great, and a lot of other movies that weren't great.
I would say Postman's better than this film.
Really, I got to sit down and actually, it's been a while since I've seen this one. So
Postman's got Tom Petty in it, man.
Well, that part is cool. I will give that part to Tom Petty.
I used to be famous. That's the part that makes me laugh. I used to be famous.
I just think it was cool that Petty was a postman. But this movie, I mean, Michael Madsen, I might even say his performance, I would have liked to seen, he's maybe a little better than Sam Elliott. I don't know.
You know what? I would say it is. I think because in Tombstone, a lot of acting went, a lot of stuff went to Kurt Russell and Powers Booth and Michael Biehn.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Morgan Earp in Tombstone was played by Bill Paxton.
Mm-hmm.
And in Tombstone it's played by Lyndon Ashby. And for those who know who Lyndon Ashby is, he's Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat. It's probably like his most famous role. But he actually does a good job in here too. I think the roles are more fleshed out in Wyatt Earp. It's just the movie is so boring. That's what sucks about it.
It's a long movie.
It's a very long movie. And I am not a fan. I haven't seen Yellowstone, so I'm not really a fan of Costner Westerns. And I like Westerns. I'm not a really big fan of Dances with Wolves. But I don't know.
To speak on Yellowstone, because I watched the first couple seasons, it's like McDonald's. It's not nutritional value. You might like it because you had since you were a kid. You stop sometimes on a vacation, but is it like if you told me you had a list of movies to watch, I wouldn't even tell you to put it on there. You know what I mean? But like, is it something that you could have on, like watch with your wife if you were eating dinner? Yeah. Like, it's not like can't miss TV. But back to this movie, this was one of the first movies too, I remember back then, you know, two VHS tapes, like a movie that had 2 VHS tapes. That was a sure sign it was a long movie. I mean, Godfather 1, 2, and 3 all had 2 tapes. Scarface had 2 tapes. So like if I came over to you and you hated Scarface and I was like, let's watch this movie, and you were like, it's got 2 tapes, right there you're telling yourself, shit, man, I'm in for a long, and that's what this movie is. It's like, it's a long drag. They could have used some cutting room floor to cut some of it, but you know, to be fair, I've never sat and watched Dancing with Wolves. You know what I mean? Because again, the longness of it is what's frightened me, and being boring. You know, I mean, when I hear terms like boring, that doesn't really get me excited to watch a movie. But
I mean, yeah, and especially when one of the actors in the film mentions it's long, stupid, and boring. And it's kind of a waste because you had Gene Hackman in this film too. Even though he filmed the scenes in just 2 weeks. He's I think he plays their dad. It I don't know. It's just I couldn't get into it. And I like Costner. I like some of his films. Um Also, I think it was tainted too with Tombstone. Like, why? I just don't understand. Like, what in your mind told you let's release this film back to back?
you know what it is? And this happens all the time. I'll use this as an example. I'll never forget this summer. It was the summer of Dante's Peak and Volcano. It was the race to see who can put out the Volcano film first. And I bet both of these movies went into production at the same time, hoping, and they could even hope to get out before them. But when you see how long this movie is and how much really they over put into it, they missed the train. And like, not only that, but if this would have came first and set the example, it could have had a fighting chance. Maybe if it was a little shorter, but it had no chance. I mean, Tombstone is a legit classic where this movie's got good performances. I'll give it that.
Yeah, and according to the AFI, American Film Institute, this film's score is like one of the best in the last 100 years in 2005. So it's got that going for it. As we know, I'm a huge fan of Alan Silvestri, even though he didn't do the score for this film. I'm a big fan of people that do scores for movies, and it does have a pretty good score. Just that it's just boring. And I mean, that's all I can say about it. I know I keep saying that, but it is. There's films that are slow burns that are worth it. And some of them slow burn so bad that you're like, damn. But when you get that, where it's leading up to, you're like, okay, I understand why they did it that way. This film to me it doesn't keep moving along. It like sits with him talking to his wife on the porch. Even like him drinking at the bar before something happens. It just plays so slow. You're like, come on, like I want to see like Wyatt Earp whoop some ass. Like
like when it comes to like Fatal Attraction or Basic Instinct, I'll take the slow burn all day long. But when you're talking about guys with mustaches from a long time ago holding little cups of coffee, it's got to either have a lot of gut, like, because I love all those Clint movies we've talked about. You know what I mean? Like, I love Westerns, but the Westerns that I love, the talking does a good job and it balances with the shootouts. Like, even a Clint movie, you could have 80% talking and 20% gunfights, and you're like, boy, that movie ruled. This movie, unfortunately, Kevin Costner doesn't bring the Clint Eastwood, and I don't have any problem with Costner. Maybe in this movie, but it just didn't all come together.
Is this heaven? No, it's I should have asked Hans that. It's Iowa. No. So if you want to see Wyatt Earp, good luck, but you'll be surprised by the good acting of Michael Madsen. And like I said, his performance is one of the good things about it. But let's move on to our next one, my man.
Run home, Nancy. Run for your life. Hey, don't listen to him. He's a crazy man. A tough man you are, huh? You stay right where you're at. You shoot your partner in the back, and then you try to scare a little girl. Maybe I'll pull my spare rod, plug you a couple times, show you how it's done. Could have worked something out, but you've blown that. Sit down, or I'll blast you in half. You're so slow, you'll never stop. Sit down! You'll never be able to stop it.
2005 Sin City. He plays the role of Bob. It's directed by 3 people: Robert Rodriguez, Frank Miller, and Quentin Tarantino. I'm not going to list all their films because it'll just take too long. It stars Mickey Rourke, Clive Owen, Jessica Alba, Bruce Willis, along with Michael Madsen, Alexei Bledel, Rosario Dawson, and Elijah Wood as some of the cast members. It has so many people in this film. It had a box office of full 158 million and a budget of 40 million. Tell me why you picked this one from our Michael Madsen tribute.
I always try to fit in movies that I think we should talk about. And I don't know why we've never talked. I mean, we just never had the opportunity to fit it into anything. But I think Sin City is an awesome movie to get started. I think when you talked last week about the great movie A Scanner Darkly, with the way the art was in that movie, that's the way also I feel about this movie too. They had an art style that they used that I hadn't seen used like this to this great effect. And I had a lot of fun in the movie theater watching this movie. I thought the little cool stories, the way that they were told, were great. I mean, Michael Madsen in this movie doesn't have a huge role, but that's what's great about Michael Madsen too, is that like not in every role is he in it in every single scene. He does a good job. But in this movie, specifically, all the characters. I mean, if you're a fan of, I'm a huge, I mean, honestly, I could argue with someone that I like Robert Rodriguez more than Quentin Tarantino for a lot of different reasons. And I know you might appreciate me even saying that, because I just think Robert Rodriguez is awesome. And I think he's got the goods, and this is one of those movies that showcase it.
Yeah, I would say both are extremely talented. Quentin, of course,
Well, I mean, Tarantino's got more of those movies that
I think, if you really want to be realistic, and this is just me saying, I don't know if this is like a hot take, I think Quentin, it kind of plays it more safe than Robert does. And it's because Robert loves exploring a little bit more in terms of filmmaking, while Quentin, he has to like narrow down how he's going to do his films. He does a great job of doing the noir films, and then of the callback classics like Django Unchained or Kill Bill to films he's seen growing up. But Robert Rodriguez also adds a different spin to it, like El Mariachi, Desperado, when they collaborated for Death Proof, and I forget the other film that was on it. But Grindhouse, when they did that, even Robert Rodriguez has even gone into like kids films with, Spy Kids.
That's the thing, is that I like Tarantino a lot. Tarantino's like a niche director, 8, 9, 10 movies. Robert Rodriguez, I mean, he made the Spy Kids movies for his own children. You know what I mean? Like, he took, what is that, 6, 7 movies right there? As many as, and put that work into those movies on top of everything else. Like, I don't like those movies. I haven't really sat down
and he's also done
them,
like parody films too, kind of like in the Quentin Tarantino-esque of like Machete. He's done that.
Desperado, Machete, Sin City, The Faculty. I'm missing a couple more Predators. You could throw a couple. He's a solid director, is my point. And the thing is sometimes, especially in today's time, I mean, he doesn't get his flowers a lot as much as some of these other directors.
No,
but one of these movies brought it up.
Yeah, no, he doesn't, and he. I think it's because he is connected with Tarantino. They're kind of intertwined a lot because they collaborate a lot. But in his own right, he does deserve his flowers. But in terms of this film, for one, I'm a sucker for noir films. I'm a sucker for visually pleasing films. Scanner Darkly, you gave a perfect example. And this film was shot mostly in black and white, but there is color in certain aspects of the film. It's gritty. It's gory. It has comedy in it with the yellow bastard. And Michael Madsen plays, a turncoat in this film as Bob. And the funny thing about this is the only reason he landed this role tone was he asked Robert Rodriguez at a Kill Bill wrap-up party why he wasn't cast. So Robert Rodriguez was like, okay, I'll give you the only part left, and he gave him Bob.
That's awesome.
He was considered for Marv before Mickey Rourke, but it's just funny that he wasn't cast. He's like, well, where am I? Why haven't I been cast? And Robert Rodriguez is like, okay, you can be in this one. But like, I love how the film is told in like breaks or certain stories, and all the characters interact in some way or another. All the stories are great. Benicio del Toro is also excellent in this film. But just the way it's shot, it was something that I hadn't seen when I first saw it, and like it really made a big impression on me after watching it. Now I haven't seen the sequel. Have you, Tone, or is the prequel?
The sequel?
Yeah.
I think I went to the movie theaters and saw it. And is
Good?
it as good as this one? No. But is it at least right around the same? Yeah. Like it's not like it's got a lot of the same characters. I enjoy it. I mean, some movies I just look at it as a continuation. It's more of a continuation of this one. But I think it's a good time because it's also some of the last great performances you see of Bruce.
Yeah, his monologuing and narration is awesome in it.
And that's where you really like, to be fair, that's the performances in these movies are just really, really good. I mean, I always unfortunately thought for the longest time Nick Stahl just Terminator 3, but now that he plays the Yellow Goblin, as you described, in the earlier, he's
and Nick Stahl is actually in a great HBO series called Carnival.
He sure is, yeah.
But in this film, like we mentioned, we brought up Madsen not just to talk about this film, but again, like I was saying earlier, he might not be the lead character, but you're gonna remember him in this film because no matter how small his role is, he gives you something to remember him by. And just like the stuff of him, don't trust him, he's a crazy man, and he shoots Bruce Willis. Like just that whole little, even though Bruce Willis, of course, is a star of that whole sequence of stories, Michael Madsen still leaves you like, oh man, he did a pretty good job for his small role he had as Bob, and that just shows again his talent. It showcases his talent. But if you haven't seen Sin City, man, you are missing out, man. Frank Miller, if you love The Dark Knight, this is the man who wrote the Dark Knight graphic novel. He excellent artist of graphic novels and comics. Check him out. He did a great job directing and kind of like spearheading this with two legendary directors in Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. Just a great job. Good pick, Tone.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to our next one, my friend.
Gun is power. Power makes fear. And weakness only makes your fucking bowels run. Ain't that somewhere else? No? I can't remember if I put any shells in this fucking thing or not.
This film is called Beyond the Law, and it was released in 1993. Our guy, Michael Madsen, plays the role of Blood, which makes me laugh because that's his name in the film. The film was directed by Larry Ferguson, who did Gunfighter's Moon. He also wrote a lot of films like The Hunt for Red October, Talent for the Game, which is not that great, Alien 3, Maximum Risk, Rollerball, the 1990s version, Highlander, and Beverly Hills Cop 2. Along with Michael Madsen, we have Charlie Sheen in the lead role, Linda Fiorentino, Leon Ripley, Rip Torn, and Dennis Berkeley. It had a budget of $18 million. I couldn't find a box office for this film. So this film was one of my picks, and the reason I picked it is because of Madsen playing the menacing character as Blood. The whole plot of this film is basically Charlie Sheen is a cop that has a troubled childhood. He's enlisted by the police to go undercover to bust illegal drug rings and motorcycle gangs. and arms trafficking, and he basically kind of gets in with them, and he meets Blood, who's like one of the head honchos of this, and it goes from there. So he's got to be playing like two roles of the cop and the biker. It's one of those films that doesn't get mentioned a lot because it had Charlie Sheen in it in the lead role, but Michael Madsen is menacing in this film. The clip I played, he's basically talking about going into a breakup. They had an argument with somebody, and he's basically telling Charlie Sheen, you know, I was probably just gonna run in there with the shotgun and make them shit their pants. And Charlie Sheen's like, "Oh, I can't let you do that, man." And he goes like his next line always like stuck with me because he goes, "Can I ask you a question?" And Charlie Sheen goes, "Shoot." And he goes, "What a great what a great answer." And he points the shotgun at him, and then he goes into that monologue of gun is power, which like was awesome. Uh Michael not Michael. Charlie Sheen is great in the film, and so is Michael Madsen. Like his character is just menacing in it, and it's kind of freaky. He makes you, you're if you were in the situation that Charlie Sheen's in, you're like, oh shit. He plays that tough guy, even though he doesn't look like a total tough guy. He plays you like the crazed criminal. Did you ever see this film, Tone?
Not until yesterday. Yep. And to be fair, man, I had a good time. Again, it's close to the same thing I talked about Superman.
Mhm.
But to back it up a little bit, I remember seeing this box at the movie theater, and this is back to like the Ghost Dog. I really judged this movie. I was like, come on, man. Charlie Sheen looks awful with this long hair. There was something about ridiculous people with long hair. But then when you sent it to me, I like saw the title and I chuckled to myself and I go, you know what? Back when I thought that, I was a different movie watcher. This is my kind of movie. And then I like put it on, and boy, it was awesome. Now, am I going to say that there isn't some ridiculousness in it that I loved?
Definitely.
But that's why I loved it. I loved it. Charlie Sheen, okay, you have to have a good time and have a stretch to really buy Charlie Sheen's character. And that's why I love it. I don't mind stretching. I don't mind seeing Charlie Sheen go up to Michael Madsen and him look like almost 2 feet shorter than him, but try to be tougher than him in the movie. I don't have a problem with that because the truth of the matter is Charlie Sheen does a good job, like you said. I wanted to go into this movie really trying to make fun of Charlie Sheen, but he put it on the line in this movie. And Michael Madsen just plays cool like he always does. What I really liked in the movie was, was the interaction. You know what I mean? I liked a lot of the interaction. Honestly, I used to watch another HBO show a lot called Deadwood. And Leon Rippey was the star of the saloon in there. And I didn't realize that until I was watching because he looked nothing like him. Rip Torn. I'll say my favorite was probably Linda Fiorentino for other. No, I shouldn't put that on there. But again, great good time of a movie, man. And I told Katie actually today, I said, we're going to watch this movie again because you're going to love it. Charlie Sheen's great.
You know what? And I totally give you the same reasons, like seeing Charlie Sheen, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I saw it before and I liked it. And then I actually saw a trailer, I believe, on Prime for it again, and I watched it. And it's before, of course, Michael Madsen passing away. I was like, oh man, that's a pretty decent movie. And then finding out that it's based off a real story.
Yeah.
Of course, it's embellished, but based off a real story, it's pretty crazy. And like I said, Michael Madsen, like Charlie Sheen does a great job, but Michael Madsen, of course, not the star, but he outshines him in this as Blood. His monologue, like his mannerisms, delivery is great. It's a film that doesn't get talked about enough, and it should be talked about. In terms of Leon Rippey, who is in Deadwood, me and Brian always joke, Tone, we say, we text each other cocksucker because that's like, that's the big line in Deadwood. I love Deadwood. I haven't watched the film yet. I still am finishing up the series, but I will get to the film. But yeah, I love Deadwood. Great show.
Back to Michael Madsen in this though. I mean, he's like spooky scary. Like in these other movies. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like he's not really, to me, menacing in The Getaway. Like he's trying to be is menacing, but I just find it to be like really, really, really more like cheesy. But in this movie, he was menacing. That part when Sheen goes into the trailer and sits there and he points that gun at him or whatever. I mean, that's menacing. I think one of my favorite scenes in the movie is, of course, the last scene with them two together when he goes in the trailer and locks the door. And, because it's Madsen just doesn't look like he's scared at all in this whole entire movie. And that's like, he pretty much the one scene he says to Charlie, he goes, "You either got to be the stupidest guy I ever seen, or you got to have balls of steel," or something like that. And Sheen really, I like this movie because a lot of these undercover movies, like, and they said it too, like the other two guys went undercover and they went too deep and they didn't want to come out or whatever. Like Sheen always in this movie like balances this line where like I know he doesn't go as deep as, you know what I mean? Like, because it wasn't until that part, like towards the end, where he's finally the guy's like, "Why every time when you're offering him drugs, are you doing it to the guy to Lippy or whatever?" And then like Sheen does it or whatever. And it's like really the first time where he really is put under pressure like that. A really cool movie, man. I really had a good time watching it.
Yeah, it's really, really done well. And the crazy thing is Larry Ferguson didn't really do too many other films
No,
in terms of directing. He did a lot of writing for them. But I mean, it's worth the watch. It's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Yeah, check it out if you haven't. It's on Prime right now, and you can watch it for free. I'm glad you got to see it for the first time downtown.
Cool. Very cool. On Tubi.
Yeah, Tubi, nice. All right, let's go into your next film, my friend.
Andy! You goonie!
All right, that's not it. All right, let's go through it.
I'm not going to tell anybody anything, and I'm not going to say that I even saw you. Okay.
Damn, Jimmy, what'd you do? Take some kind of pill? Makes you say all right stuff.
Yeah, I'm choking on it.
1991's Thelma and Louise. He plays the role of Jimmy. It's directed by Ridley Scott, who did Gladiator 1 and 2, Napoleon, The Last Duel, Prometheus, Robin Hood, Body of Lies, American Gangster, Hannibal, and Alien. The movie stars Michael Madsen, of course, as Jimmy, with Susan Sarandon, Gina Davis, Harvey Keitel, Christopher McDonald, and Brad Pitt. It had a box office of $45 million and a budget of $16.5 million. Tone, tell me why you picked this one.
I think he does a great job in this movie. Again, shows him playing a guy trying to come back for Susan Sarandon. In that role, he did what he was called to do, and that's why it was another example of just showing how good he is as an actor. His delivery as an actor in all the movies he's in he's got a real cool voice. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not judging myself, but I wish I could just replace my audio with his voice right now. Just like, he's just really cool. And that's why, like, even just, it was bad. I was like almost going to be like Sly. So I stopped right there. But the thing about it is the scene that you just played right there too it's just classic Madsen, man. The movie itself has got a lot of awesome other performances in it too. Of course, Brad Pitt, memorable. I just mentioned Susan Sarandon. I think she's great. Christopher McDonald, Shooter McGavin, ridiculous. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a film that's been parodied. I mean, Wayne's World parodied it with the famous ending scene. In terms of Michael Madsen, the scene that I played, I think you kind of feel for him because he loves Louise. He wants to marry her. And in that scene, she's giving him back the ring and basically telling him she can't do it. And he tells her, I just want you to be happy. And that's when she says, "What are you just having, like these pills? These pills that make you see all these good things?" And he says, "I'm swallowing it." But as he does that, he says that he kind of looks away and you could tell he's hurt by it. And he eventually tells her to give him a kiss. And the music they have playing in the background too, Stop Holding You is in like one of the lines that goes on. It's like corny, but it fits into the song. You kind of feel for Jimmy, and he gives her money that eventually, Brad Pitt steals to help her get away. And he was one of the good things in Louise's life that if they ever go show like maybe 20 years out, if they live when they jump the Grand Canyon, if they lived, you wonder, like, does Jimmy wait for her to get out of jail, or does she go to jail, or do they end up back together? It gives you that little cliffhanger. The film itself it's hilarious because you got two women, one's a housewife in a bad relationship, and you got Louise, who's a waitress that just basically got fed up with shit. Some guy tried to rape one of them. They killed him because he tried to rape him.
Yeah.
And it got nominated for Oscars. It had one for best writing, but you had like best director for Ridley Scott, Susan Sarandon, and Gina Davis both got nominated for best lead. Unfortunately, they didn't win. But looking at the cast in here, you got Harvey Keitel. Seeing that you had two people considered for this film were Michelle Pfeiffer and Jodie Foster, I can't see them playing the two roles of Thelma and Louise. I thought Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon were perfect for this role.
This is, a good time period for both of these actresses too. I mean, Gina Davis has some pretty good movies. You got The Fly. She's great in The Fly.
The Bug.
The Bug. I really enjoy The Long Kiss Goodnight. I mean, she's and Susan Sarandon. I mean, Bull Durham. Forget about it. But just really good performances. So no, I wouldn't see anyone else but them two in this. No.
Yeah, Dead Man Walking.
No.
Great. This film was just great. I like the soundtrack for it. I love the score. Hans Zimmer, another guy who I really, really love in terms of composing. I'm becoming really nerdy when it comes to composing recently. But one funny thing I found, Tone, was that two best friends now were up for the same role, and that's the role of JD. Clooney went and auditioned 5 times and eventually lost out to Brad Pitt, and Pitt was praised by Clooney for his performance. That's kind of cool that they both tried out for the same role, and Brad Pitt got it.
That was.
And I think this is like one of, if not like one of the earliest Pitt roles, besides the film with Henry Winkler that we went over, where he plays the morgue.
Night Shift.
Night Shift, yeah, with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Because Brad Pitt's in that film too. He just doesn't say. They told him not to say anything in that film. But like, it's one of his earliest films, and he does a great job. He's an asshole in it.
It gets lost in the Ridley Scott filmography, but it's got some pretty good stuff in it.
Yeah, and would have stunk in F1. I don't know, man. You can't talk about Batman that way, Jack. Ridley Scott paid $500,000 for the film rights to avoid being typecast.
Interesting.
So, I mean, he was more into the science fiction era era of films, but he totally got out of that with this film. And Jimmy was offered to Christopher Christopherson.
Interesting.
Which I love Chris Christopherson, but I think Michael Madsen just did a better job at it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think of him in Blade, not this.
And apparently, Gina Davis and Brad Pitt had a brief affair during this shoot.
Interesting.
Man, Brad Pitt was like the Tom Brady of 2025. Tom Brady's talking to Sydney Sweeney. He's talking to Sofia Vergara. Brad Pitt had all the ladies.
Supposedly today, he's nuts.
Was it who?
He said she was too old today. He's nuts.
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, it was he. Go eat some more strawberries. See,
please
eat strawberries, Tony.
See, I don't like them.
But yeah, Thelma and Louise is a classic. It's been parodied in other films and comedies and skits. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's actually a very good, well-drawn story. Tugs the heartstrings a little bit, but it's very, very well done by Ridley Scott. And Michael Madsen is just another piece that makes it even better. So be sure to check that out. Good pick, Tom.
Thank you.
Let's move on to our next one.
I want to know what you got going on down here.
I don't understand, son. You want to know about every half-ass scam don't amount to nothing?
That's right.
Look, I don't mean any disrespect. I mean, I know you're a skipper and I'm a nobody, but I can't do that to Lefty.
Listen to me, you cocksucker. I'll eat your fucking balls for breakfast. You understand me? Every fucking one of you. This is life and death. Not a fucking game, Donnie. This is my say-so. You tell me.
1997's Donnie Brasco. He plays the role of Sonny Black the Patalo. It's directed by Mike Newell, who did 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Into the West, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, The Good Father, and Dance with a Stranger. The film, along with Michael Madsen, stars Johnny Depp, Al Pacino, Bruno Kirby, James Russo, Robert Miano, and Anne Heche. It had a budget of $35 million and a box office of $124 money made. I'm sorry. He being Michael Madsen was phenomenal in this film, and it's kind of a shame that the clip I played was actually a deleted scene, but he does have a lot of great liners in this film, along with his persona of being, happy go giddy guy, like when he's dancing with the champagne bottles, to somebody who gets pissed and just shooting you and killing you. He can flip a switch like that quickly. And since this movie is based off a true story of Joe Pistone, aka Donnie Brasco, in real life, when the case was going on, this film portrays Al Pacino, Lefty, as Donnie's best friend in the mob. Sonny Black was Donnie's best friend in real life, and they hung out a lot. And Joe Pistone said that Michael Madsen's portrayal of him was just like the real Sonny. This film has a lot of great characters, and Bruno Kirby as Nicky. Of course, Al Pacino is one of my favorite Al Pacino roles. As Lefty, I think he does an excellent job in it. But Michael Madsen, again, is menacing and scary, but can also show like basically he's a sociopath. He's what mobsters are considered. They can be warm and gentle and then completely flip a switch and become killers. It's a film that I love. If you listen to this podcast, if you know me personally, I love Donnie Brasco. I have read all Joe Pistone's books. I got his like little wire tapes he released with his books. I got all that stuff. This is one of my favorite films, one of my favorite Johnny Depp films. And Michael Madsen is just awesome in it. And he even considered this to be one of his personal favorite films that he acted in. Tone, I could keep, gushing over this film. What'd you think about it?
Oh, great movie. Probably the line that I remember the most is, and I'm probably gonna mess it up, is when they're all in the like where they all hang out or whatever, and they're all like laughing or whatever. And as you just stated, how he could just turn on the quick of the dime or whatever, he just starts going, "Oh, I gotta kick up," and he just starts yelling at them or whatever. And they're all just like looking at him out of the side of his eye. But that's what you want from a mob boss in the mob movies. You want a guy that, honestly, I was scared for those guys because the way he looked, it was like, well, Pacino ain't gonna do anything to this guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's being nice, just keeping Pacino around. That's how it felt because, well, he's that tough. I really like Bruno Kirby mixing it up with Michael Madsen too. In this, Bruno Kirby he should have been able to do more work. He sadly passed away too young. But this is another great performance. But for me, it's all about Pacino and Michael Madsen in this movie.
Yeah, and I was actually going to choose that for the cold open for this film. When he's like, you could tell he's getting annoyed because people are talking to him about like fake knockoff, jeans and whatnot. And Sonny Red, who is a real person, he's in the mob with them and he's kicking up more money because he has all these trucks. And during this, he's getting irritated with these people, talk about these horrible scams. Lefty's fucking trying to break open a parking meter with a hammer, and he yells at him like, "Would you stop it?" And he's like, "What am I supposed to do? Open sesame, open sesame." And that's when Donnie, shouts out, "Hey, I know this guy in Florida." And he's like, "Oh, you know somebody?" So he's hearing something different. And Nicky says the line, there's a lot of parking meters in Florida, and that's when he slaps them in the face, and everybody just gets quiet. And that's when he does I gotta answer 50 grand to Rusty every month. And then he's like, when he walks away, the character of James Russo, his character says, you better start earning or somebody's gonna get clipped, which just shows you that mob boss that he portrays can just flip a switch and become like a total like fearful dude. And like from what Pistone was saying, he totally knocked it out of the park in the way he portrayed him. And like I said, it's just a shame that the first clip I used for this, when he's yelling at Donnie when they're by the pool, that's the clip tone that I just used when he's yelling at him. It's a deleted scene. And Mike Newell, I watched the Donnie Brasco like commentary, and Mike Newell, was saying I had a scene with Michael Madsen in it that he was just excellent in, and I cut it due to time constraints, and it's one of my biggest regrets. I wish they would release the director's cut. It'd be awesome, and having him in there. Donnie Brasco is a great film. If you haven't seen it, we've done mobster films breakdowns. One of our earliest episodes with B-Flow from the 108. This film was brought up. B-Flow never saw this film, Tone.
Really?
Which is kind of funny. Yeah, he didn't see it until he did that show, and he actually really, really enjoyed it. But if you haven't seen, if you like mobster films, Donnie Brasco doesn't get mentioned enough. Check it out for the performances of Depp, Pacino, and Michael Madsen. Bruno Kirby is excellent as well. So be sure to check it out. Moving on, my friend. This is a film that you got the name wrong, Tone, which cracked me up.
I did.
But let's go into this one.
This is what?
This is Mulholland Falls, Jack.
Mulholland Falls?
It's kind of like Niagara Falls.
Come on, there ain't no falls in L.A. You guys can't do this. This is America.
This isn't America, Jack. This is L.A.
2001's Mulholland Falls, directed by Lee Tamahori, who did Once for Warriors, Next, The Edge, The Convert, and Tony's favorite film, Triple X, State of the Union. The film stars Michael Madsen in a great role that I will mention in a second, along with Nick Nolte, Melanie Griffin, Jennifer Connelly, Chaz Palminteri, as well as Chris Penn and Trent Williams, along with the great John Malkovich. The film had a budget of $29 million and a box office of only $11 million, Tone, which is really, really, unfortunate considering that it has such an all-star cast here. For some reason, guys, I did not put Michael Madsen's role in here. I guess he plays Eddie Hall. I couldn't think of his name. I was going to call him George Hall, but he plays the role of Eddie Hall. I had it written down, but I guess I might delete it when I was writing my notes. But tell everybody why you picked this film.
Before I do that, go back to our 20th episode. We dug deep in Donnie Brasco. We did a whole episode on it. So if you have not checked that out, go back and check that out. Before I tell you what I think of Mulholland Falls, here's a little Michael Madsen.
I like your tie, though.
Oh, thank you very much.
I don't know how many spots are on it.
Yeah. Like to see you in a tie, Michael.
A lot of people would.
Yeah.
You could just see his humor there, but this is another one of those movies again that these are my type of movies. It was like there's a crime, they got to solve it. It's like Little Poor Man's LA Confidential. It's got just loaded with all these actors that you mentioned. You know what I mean? Like Chaz Palminteri, John Malkovich, Chris Penn. For me, for a long time, you could put Chris Penn, Michael Madsen, and Tom Sizemore all in a blender, and it's like they're all like the same guy. Like they could play those kind of cool roles. That's why I always got to forget Michael Madsen's not in True Romance. It's Tom Sizemore and Chris Penn as the cops, like at the end. But what I like about this movie is the way it's shot. I think it looks really kind of cool for the time. I mean, the script, again, I will describe it a little bit kind of as the same thing of how we were describing Wyatt Earp. It could have been cleaned up a little bit here and there. But overall, I mean, it's 29 million is a lot of money for this movie when you think of Popstar only cost 20 million, and all that they really put into Popstar. And I don't know, but if you're looking for just a good performance as like a cool like side guy detective, this one will do you good.
Yeah, and I mean, just to even before we get to Madsen's performance, like you got Melanie Griffin. I mean, much cheese in this film. You got Ed Lautner, who is Captain Knauer from the what's it, Longest Yard, the original Longest Yard. You got Blaine or Andrew McCarthy. He's also in Weekend at Bernie's, man. He's
Mhm.
in this film. Larry Wilson from Weekend at Bernie's is in this film. So you got Bruce Dern in this film.
Bruce Dern's great.
Yeah, it's just so many people in this film that it is you described it perfectly with saying it's a poor man's LA Confidential. Because it is. This film really, really gives me a lot of vibes of a more recent film with Nick Nolte in it. I don't know if you've seen it, called Gangster Squad. Um, it's with Nick Nolte and Ryan Gosling in it. It came out like I think in the 2000s. It kind of got those vibes in it. It's an LA noir type of film. A noir crime story film, but LA Noir is actually a video game, and this actually gives me a lot of vibes of the film. The video game does.
You threw me off for a second here because in the notes it says the movie came out in 2001.
Yeah.
It came out in 96.
Oh, 96. See, man, I messed up on my
But
notes.
you know what's weird is because like when I look down and see 2001, I go, I never would have watched this movie ever in 2001. I go, I feel like it's 1996, and I kept sitting here and then I looked it up. But like this movie that helps me better with my argument here. This is a mid 90s. You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's an excellent film.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that this, honestly, I don't think they made a movie like this. You know, movies kind of like this. I mean, it's Gangster Squad. I mean, it's not the one with Sean Penn and Ryan Gosling and Josh Brolin. You ever watch that one?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, did you saw it?
Yeah, I mentioned it while you were reading notes.
I was too busy thinking in 1996 that this is when I watched it.
Wow,
And then
I broke your brain.
I was also looking at the name and I'm like, is it Mulholland Drive or is it Mulholland Falls? I'm still stuck on what the real title is of the movie. But all that being said, Michael Madsen, man, does a good job.
His sister's actually in this film. She makes a cameo during the opening credits when her brother's name appears, which I thought was kind of cool. Michael Madsen just plays a tough ass cop in here. They are like some rug tug detectives that go out there and kind of break the rules and shit. And Nick Nolte's their leader. I love it. It's based off the real LAPD unit known as the Hat Squad. So that's why we get the Gangster Squad, moniker and comparisons from. But Chaz Palminteri's in this film too. Fresh off, the Bronx Tale, as well as this is right before this might actually been with The Usual Suspects, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right after The Usual Suspects. So he's riding high, man. He is riding high right now in terms of his acting credits, and he did Bullets Over Broadway before this, which I thought was excellent. But Michael Madsen's character just plays a rugged cop with the best of him, Tone.
Sure does.
His delivery again is excellent. I think the way they cast this group. Now we talked about we mentioned Gangster Squad. They cast this group. Everybody brought something to the table. You got Chris Penn being the more goofy kind of guy, Chaz Palminteri being the more serious but laid back, and then you got like Nick Nolte, the old rugged guy, and Michael Madsen being the smooth, cool dude that makes like slight jokes that would probably fucking just throw you out the car like the buddy in this clip, the clip I played. They threw him out of the car and he rolled down the hill. But it's really, really done well.
It's very much so.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this one, definitely check it out. It's where can we find this one, Tone? I haven't seen this one in years, so I did not. I usually rewatch films, but I didn't get a chance to rewatching this one. It looks like it's streaming on Prime Video. You can watch it.
Yeah, I mean, this one is on Tubi for free, Pluto TV for free, and almost on and Amazon Prime Video for free.
Sweet. Yeah, be sure to check it out there. Definitely worth your time. And again, Madsen just adds in, his small performance as a supporting character, but he makes it memorable.
Sure does.
I really liked this film when I watched it, and now looking back at all the people, Daniel Baldwin's in this film too, which makes me like Daniel Baldwin.
D. Baldwin.
D. Baldwin from he portrayed Tony Soprano in The Sopranos. He was in Cleaver.
Cleaver, the classic Cleaver.
Yeah, Cleaver is a classic of oh my god. Michael Imperiali's in this film too, isn't he? He does a cameo.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
This movie just got a lot of people in it, man. A lot of people.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. Look for people like cameos. Look for people I didn't mention, and Jennifer Connelly. If you like the film Career Opportunities and Top Gun Maverick, I mean, this is prime Jennifer Connelly. You'll like this film. Yeah. So be sure to check out Mulholland Falls, which was released in '96, not 2001. So that's my mistake. But yeah, let's move on to our next filler.
What the fuck you talking about?
That fucking shooting spree! In the store, remember?
Oh, fuck them. They set off the alarm. They deserve what they got.
You almost killed me! Asshole! If I know what kind of guy you were, I never would have agreed to work with you.
Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy? Or are you gonna bite?
1992's Reservoir Dogs. He played the role of Mr. Blonde. It's a top-rated movie on IMDb at number 100. It was directed by Quentin Tarantino, who did Pulp Fiction, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Death Proof, Inglourious Bastards, Kill Bill 1 and 2, and Django Unchained, to name a couple films. Along with Michael Madsen, it's Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Chris Penn, Steve Buscemi, Eddie Bunker, and Lawrence Tierney. It had a budget of $1.2 million and a box office of $2.9 million. We can't talk Michael Madsen without talking this film. His role as Mr. Blonde is iconic, not just in the way he looks. And remember, his suits and most of the wardrobe in this film were owned by the actors due to the low budget it had. He also, his delivery. Are you just gonna bark, little doggy, or are you gonna bite? The way he's drinking a soda, the way he holds his sunglasses over his eyes, the dance while he's before he cuts off the fucking cop's ear who's stuck in the middle with you. Just that is so memorable. He's my favorite character in this film. I love when him and Harvey Keitel get into it, Mr. White, and he just talks shit to him. He doesn't care. He's a legit psychopath in here. His character is Vic Vega. He's related to Vincent Vega of Pulp Fiction. They are brothers, as Quentin Tarantino later released and said that he wanted to make a film about them that never came to fruition. And obviously, it's not going to happen now. But his role is iconic. He drives a Coupe de Ville. And it's his real Coupe de Ville that he drove, Tone, again, due to budgeting. He got into it, Lawrence Tierney, in this film, because Lawrence Tierney was known for being a hard ass, and he was very frustrating to work with because he kept forgetting his lines, and he was a mean dude, and Michael Madsen wasn't having none of that. It also shows what kind of compassion Michael Madsen has, as when he's doing the scene with the cop and the cop is crying about his newborn kid. Michael Madsen just had a kid, so he had to stop the scene because he broke down a little bit. There's just so many good details and stuff about this film that we couldn't explore more, but his character is just iconic, and that's I could keep rambling on about it, Tone, but tell me what you think about it.
As you stated, a very iconic character. I mean, he's that whole dance during Steelers Wheel, Stuck in the Middle with You, is one of the most memorable scenes, and especially in violent crime movies, definitely is in a lot of those. Um, the performance of him is excellent. I mean, I think this is kind of like what solidifies his career into doing more stuff, trying to get him to do more roles where they can use what he's great at, which is to bring that menace without actually screaming. You know what I mean? It's not like he's screaming. He just says it all in a real confident tone. That clip you played, I mean, I love Keitel in this movie. He's probably my favorite. Michael Madsen's my second favorite. I just like the way Keitel screams a lot in this movie, especially like when Roth is like bleeding in the back seat. He's like, tell him you're going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. There's so many good
Come on, Harry.
Yeah, just good. But Madsen, I mean, the great thing about this movie is that you're just kind of like, he's just like in this warehouse almost the whole time, and there's not a whole lot of scene changes, so you got to rely on yourself as the character to bring the scene to life. And I think Michael Madsen did that gratefully. Chris Penn was also amazing. He's got one of my favorite lines in the movie. I've probably used this line so many times. It looks like Sam's hot car lot out there. Every time there's like a lot of cars in the driveway somewhere or like something, I'd always be like, it looks like Sam's hot car lot out there. But excellent movie, man. Soundtrack is great. Just all around a great movie.
Yeah, it's iconic. In for one, it was something that Quentin Tarantino was going to shoot by himself. He didn't get any funding yet, and Harvey Keitel saw the script, got him the $1.2 million funding for it, and basically was a big part in getting launching the career of Quentin Tarantino. He wrote this film in 3.5 weeks. But it's so masterfully done in terms of dialogue, in terms of storytelling, and they cut scenes out of here, like Mr. Blue's death's cut out due to time constraints. But they don't show him cut off the ear. Yeah, like Jack says, I love how they don't actually show him cut off the ear. They show him like working on it, but they don't show him actually slice it. And the part that makes me laugh is when he holds the ear up to his mouth and he's like, "Can you hear me?" And he starts laughing, and then he does a little like strut. It just shows how crazy he is, in terms of the character of Mr. Blonde. He's drinking the Big Kahuna drink, the Big Kahuna soft drink. And I love Chris Penn's character's name of Nice Guy Eddie. It always made me laugh. And the jumpsuit he wears when he comes in the tracksuit. He's like, "Stop pointing the gun at my fucking dad!" That cracks me up. And who can mention that without Steve Buscemi's rant about tipping? I know a lot of Mr. Pinks in my life that don't tip.
Well, there's that whole scene at the beginning. Every day, me and Katie say this part in the beginning. I don't know why. She's only seen the movie once or twice, where he's like, "I got Madonna's." She doesn't say this, not the Madonna's big dick in one ear, but when the guy's like, "Toby Wong, Toby Charlie Chan." It's like, "I got fucking Toby Chi in one fucking ear and Madonna's big dick in the other." It's just hilarious. It's the way he says it, but the acting is great, and you can tell again where Tarantino's about to go. I mean, it's a great first movie, and I think Madsen really does a good job at portraying this character and helping Tarantino achieve that goal.
Yeah, one of my favorite, it can't be used today because of derogatory terms, but when Lawrence Tierney and Steve Buscemi are talking about his name, Mr. Pink, and he's like, "I'll be Mr. Purple. Mr. Purple sounds good." And Lawrence Tierney's like, "No, you can't be Mr. Purple. There's a Mr. Purple on the job." The way he delivers that line always cracks me up. And then Harvey Keitel's like, "Who cares about names? Of course you don't care. You got a cool name. Your name's Mr. White. How about we switch?" He's like, "There ain't no switching." It's just like that whole like scene just cracks you up. Like it's still hilarious in it. And it has like legit, like Lawrence Tierney was a legit badass back in his day and like a rough dude. And then Eddie Bunker was another dude who had ties to like the underground, not just on, you know, he gave Danny Trejo his start, but he had ties to the Mexican mafia, ties to prison gangs. Like Eddie Bunker was like that dude. And when I was watching like a documentary of this film, Tone, Eddie Bunker once fought Lawrence Tierney out of nowhere when they were younger, and Lawrence Tierney beat the shit out of him.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, because Eddie Bunker was trying to impress some girl. And he even mentions it like, yeah, Lawrence Tierney like fucked him up. He's like, he goes, I was trying to impress this girl, and like Lawrence Tierney tore me up. But yeah, it's just got it's one of those classic films. It is a classic film. If you haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been at, man. It's awesome.
Excellent, great movie, man. Great pick.
I'm pretty sure down the road we'll do a deep dive into Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, I mean it's because we could spend 30 minutes just talking the soundtrack. I mean, there's just a lot of good stuff to this movie.
Yeah, but this is the film I think when we think of Michael Madsen, we can't talk about it without Mr. Blonde.
No.
But on to our final film, and I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this, I cracked up. So due to that, I got this great line.
He's been out of the water a lot longer than we thought. Come on, Willie!
Let's go, Willie! Go! Get out of here!
Let go of my boy.
Let go of my boy. 1993's Free Willy. He plays the role of Glenn. It's directed by Simon Windsor, who did The Phantom, Coolly Down Under, Harley Quinn, Crossfire Trail, The Cup, and Lightning Jack. It stars Jason James Richter along with our man Michael Madsen, Lori Petty, Jane Atkinson, August Schillenberg, and Michael Ironside. It had a budget of $20 million, the box office $153 million. Tell me why you picked this one.
Well, two reasons. There was two movies I could have picked if I really wanted to adhere to a debate tonight, and I think you know what two of these movies were. One was The Natural, and the other one was The Doors. But I was like, you know what? Let's really talk about a movie that puts, I mean, all these other movies put Michael in like the badass seat. This movie, Michael's a badass, but he's a different kind of badass. Like, whenever I talk to my sisters about the time where we met him at the Isaac Walton, they always just, his nickname to them is Michael Madsen's nickname to my sisters will always be Free Willy. Whenever I talk about it, because this was their movie back then, this is the movie that they know him from. They didn't watch any of these other movies that I played. They just know him from Free Willy. And it's really funny when you think about it, that here you go, you got this Michael Madsen, and he is in Reservoir Dogs. He's in all these movies, okay? And then he's in Free Willy. You know, it's to me, it just almost like blows my mind. He's in this movie. And also blows my mind Michael Ironside's in this movie. His head should have exploded like Scanners just being in this movie. I picked this movie honestly because it's just a lighthearted movie. And honestly, you may not think about it, but it's one of his top performances that people recognize him from is Free Willy. I mean, I could have picked The Doors, but him playing like one of Morrison's side friends with long hair who drank in a bar, it's just been another cool Madsen performance. But him actually in this movie taking on the role of trying to be somebody in a guiding type of role. I mean, you can't tell me Blood was, I mean, he was guiding people, but not the way we want people to be guiding people. In this movie, at least, you know, they had him come back for the sequel. So, I mean, that's pretty cool.
So I will say this. He's awesome in this film because it's just funny his mannerisms in this film, especially when they're at the dinner table, that one. And the kid's like, I don't talk when I eat.
Yeah.
Like, the little kid's a little asshole in this film. But Michael Madsen is great in it. I found it hilarious that you picked this because I know you and Brian talk about it, but it's kind of cool that you gave us, a more sentimental reason for picking it because of your sisters, which I think is pretty awesome. I would have never guessed that.
Well, because like if I was to tell them right now, and I will, I'll be like, oh, we talked Michael Madsen. They're gonna be like, Free Willy. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just, it always brings me back to that. I mean, I can't honestly say that I haven't sat down and watched this movie since they watched it a long time ago. But then you and I both know that it wouldn't take me to sit down and watch this to answer a quiz on it and win. It's not like it's it's deep in the fact that here's this guy, here's this whale. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. There was a part in Superman that I teared up. You know what I mean? Like, there's in movies, when you go to the movies, still you want hope. You know what I mean? And Free Willy was a symbol of hope for the time when so even though it's stupid the way he jumped over those rocks, it was like, he did it. Free Willy, you're free. Like, life isn't like that, but you know what? It's cool to watch a movie that makes you feel that way sometimes, though.
You did it, Willie.
And he's just funny. I mean, again, when you're playing this role like this, it's not like him. So I'm curious. I'd like to have talked to him about his experience on this versus Kill Bill or Tarantino. Like, was it as equally as a good experience? Do you got some regrets? Anything? But what's really cool though is that it's part of his filmography.
Yeah, it just shows that he can play any role, and like Mailman Jack says, bad dad ass. He was a bad ass dad in this film. I mean, it's not a horrible film. I just think it was funny that this is what we're going to close out.
It was. Well, that's why I like to do it. Like I always told you last week, I tell you every week, you throw me the movies, and I'm like almost putting together the set list because I get to add the second, the fifth, the seventh, the ninth, and the last one. So I'm like, well, I originally had Free Willy in the middle, but then I'm like, you know what? You talk Reservoir Dogs, one of the most violent movies of all time. Let's talk a Peaceful Heart one here, then. Free Willy. So, cheers, Free Willy.
Hey, Richter, I'll see you at the party later. No, but to close it out with some Michael Madsen facts, in supporting roles, he earned $1.3 billion. In leading roles, his movies earned $20 million. In lead ensemble member roles, he earned $300 million. In cameos, he earned $178 million. In interviews, he earned $50,000. And unclassified roles that can be anything within film, he earned $485 million. So for a total of $2.3 billion, his films have grossed and earned throughout his career. For a person who is not predominantly the main character, that's pretty good for a guy who was lost way too soon and probably would have made even more of that money going forward. It's unfortunate, Tone.
Well, earlier it's one of those cases again. We've talked about you brought up Bill Paxton before. I mean, you lose these awesome actors, and it's just a shame because, some great movies, you know what I mean? Some really awesome being part of a lot of good stuff that's the cool thing though, is that when people can sit there and remember a lot of these roles that he was a part of and dig back into them.
And some interesting facts about him, Tone. We of course know he is the brother of Virginia Madsen. He is a Chicago boy, or Illinois boy. He was originally considered for the role of Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction, which ultimately went to John Travolta. And again, the character was written as Mr. Blonde's brother. He was almost cast as Wolverine, but lost out to Hugh Jackman. So imagine how his career would have been as Wolverine. I could totally see him playing it. It would have been hilarious. He did his own stunts in Free Willy. His favorite role is Mr. Blonde from Reservoir Dogs, though he found the torture scene very difficult to film, as we mentioned earlier. He once turned down a role in The Crow because he didn't want to wear makeup. He's inducted into the Hall of Great Western Performers of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. He appeared in Sin City, as we said. He is known for work in crime, neo-noir films, but he also starred in westerns and family films. Despite his bad boy image, Madsen is known to be very soft-spoken and polite in real life. He's participated in Celebrity Big Brother in the UK in 2012, finishing in 4th place. And finally, the last Michael Madsen trivia point to close out the night. He narrated the documentary I Am Evel Knievel, expressing his admiration for the stunt legend.
Very
Tone,
awesome.
any final thoughts?
Very, very awesome. Also, when doing research for the show, I was very surprised that he was served as the apprentice of John Malkovich.
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich in the Steppenwolf Theater Company. So again, to imagine that him working under Malkovich tonight as I lay in bed, we're gonna get a lot of good mental images. Excellent actor. Excellent actor.
Yeah, but I sorry. Whenever I hear his name, I think of Bill Hader going, "I'm John Malkovich." he's like, I do not sound like that. Yes, you do. Exactly how you sound. Well, that's our show. We are in the 2-hour and 15-minute range. So, Cotton, you got what you wanted, my man. Shout out to Hans for coming on and joining us with a great Sugar Baggy soundtrack pick of the week. And congratulations for guessing the VHS back of the box or back of the VHS box trivia question. Before we go out, we just want to let you guys know that we do have some new merch up, and that merch has to do with our guy, the Sugar Baggy here. We have some Hookup on Music stickers out that are for sale over at the Sadistic Penguin Studios shop. If you go to our sadisticpenguinstudios.com, click on the shop icon, and you can get these great stickers for $3.23. Just
I'll sing any song you want. You get any sticker, I'll sing for free. You don't have to even pay one of those. What's that called when you got to pay someone to sing a happy birthday? Cameo. I'll do it for free. So $3.23, get you whatever you want.
We also have the Quasimodo predicted all this, which is a running gag on our show sticker with 2 penguins in there. You can buy those. They're a little bit bigger for $6.90 a piece. Be sure to check them out. And of course, we have our anti-ice merchandise, which all goes towards the National Immigration Justice Center. I will be pulling these down probably next month and donating the proceeds from them. So thank you everyone who has bought stuff from that, and all the proceeds will go to the NIJC. Again, that's at sadisticpenguinstudios.com/shop. Thank you guys for all your support, all the listening, all the watching, all the banter, all the BS and whatnot that we go through. We really appreciate it. Tone, let everybody know what is going on at the Hookup on Music, my friend.
Hookup on Music. We should be having a new episode sometime this weekend. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow. We are putting together the final production notes on that, so we will see where that's going to lead. Got a lot of cool stuff to cover. Deftones got a new song that just dropped yesterday. Your boy last weekend, man, Chad Smith, he tore it up at that Black Sabbath tribute concert. He did a really good job. Got a lot of cool stuff to talk about there. So please tune into that. And then also on Sunday, probably Sunday evening sometime, the 4th James Bond episode, Thunderball, will be dropping. So look out for that.
Yeah, and those are really, really great episodes. I love the banter between Tone and Adam. They do a great job. Be sure to check those out. Check out the Hookup on Music. Tony's doing an excellent job doing his solo show there. I dropped 2 videos in Young Guns 1 and 2. I am working on another video that I have to finish up into the Sopranos realm of stuff that I will be dropping hopefully this weekend. The voiceover is recorded. I just have to finish editing. Once I finish editing, I will drop that as soon as possible. Also, shout out to Michael Cotton, who released a great article on You're Probably Not Gonna Like This stuff about movie theaters, which I thought was hilarious. We also have some stuff in the works with him and I doing a project going forward in the future. Lots of cool stuff coming to the Penguin, Penguin work, the Penguin website. We got our shop up and running. We're popping out TikToks, we're popping out shorts, we're popping out videos. So we're doing a lot of content now. If there's anything you guys think you want to hear more on, let me know. We'll try to make the stuff go out there as well. We're trying to, cater to our audience as much as we can. We love just using this as an outlet, man. And this is what me and Tony do, and Brian and everybody that works with us. This is what we do as an outlet, and we just have fun doing it. We really appreciate you guys listening, watching, and basically trash talking with us.
Mhm.
And if you hate watch us, thank you for the view. But again, shout out to Hans. Shout out to everybody listening. You guys have a good night, and we'll be back next week, y'all.
Take care.
Take it easy.
Thanks for listening to the At the Show podcast, a Sadistic Penguin Studios production.
Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?